What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It is time for a review of the actual 13th EP by alternative band Coldplay from the UK. Yes, this is their 13th EP, which is crazy because yes, some of them have been remix EPs, other things, various projects throughout the years. Actually, a couple of EPs came out even before their debut album Parachutes, but here we are at the 13th one, Kaleidoscope. That was the title of an interlude track on their most recent album, A Head Full of Dreams. You might recognize it from that, and they kind of transitioned into some of the tracks and the ideas that they had left over from that, and some new ideas that they had moving forward, but weren't quite ready for a new studio album. So what do we get on the Kaleidoscope EP? It's been hyped up for a very long time for such a short project, and in fact, the majority of the songs were released at least in some format before the release of the EP. It was delayed multiple times, and we're not getting a physical edition just quite yet, but was it worth all of the hype and all of the wait? Honestly, I'm a bit disappointed in this. I initially, obviously, like most, heard a couple of the lead-off singles, one that I didn't even know would be a lead-off single in the form of Something Just Like This, alongside, yes, sadly, the Chainsmokers. And not that this isn't a catchy song, it's just that the Chainsmokers as people and just the way that they go about making their music, they kind of irk me in a very bad way. If you guys saw my review of Memories Do Not Open, the Chainsmokers' debut album, you know that I detested that project. I hated it, and I thought that this was really the only salvageable song from it that you could keep coming back to for repeated listens at least. And that is in part to Coldplay's partaking in this song. Obviously, in the lyrical content, it's not just your typical Chainsmokers stuff. It's actually written by Chris Martin, and there's actually some guitar parts, some extra drumming and stuff that goes in there, and there's definitely a little bit of extra and added flair. But whenever I saw the EP track listing, I saw it said Tokyo Remix, and I thought to myself, okay, great, we're gonna get Coldplay's take on this. It's gonna be maybe more of a rock approach, or maybe more of like guitars or drums or something else is gonna be added into the mix. And literally all it is them playing the song live in Tokyo. That is just clickbait if you ask me. Hypnotized was obviously the other single that I heard that came out around the start of the year, and it did kind of bore me. It's kind of a slow tune that takes a while to really go anywhere, and not that it ever really leaves the ground fully, but I have grown on it a little bit in terms of how I feel about the song, and this is labeled the EP mix here, so I don't know if somebody can kind of bring me into the loop on if this differs from the initial version that was posted to YouTube with the lyric video and on Spotify, because I'm really not hearing any differences between the two mixes. Maybe they just tweaked a few things, but this song is about 6.5 minutes long, and boy, does it feel that length. It just kind of twinkles. It does kind of have this almost kind of magical, ethereal feeling to it, the way that the pianos move and kind of swallow you up into that ocean of music. But at the same time, I don't find myself necessarily getting lost in it as much as I just want to get out of it and swim to shore. Look, the lyrics on it are sweet enough, I'll give it that. It's just that it gets old. It definitely way overstays its welcome, and just look to its peers on this very record that are far superior to this. Namely, I am talking about the opening track that is something special, something big, something amazing. It's called All I Can Think About Is You, and it is one of the best damn Coldplay songs in years. This thing really lifted my spirits whenever I heard it. Gave me a lot of hope for the project, and in fact, this is easily my favorite on the EP, of course, and one of my favorite songs of the year so far. So what does it have? Why is this one so skilled, and why does it stand tall compared to all of the other little tracks that are thrown together here? Well, this is the only one that I really feel has that Coldplay charm and charisma to it. It's like a mix of old and new. You hear those building pianos, the swell, Chris Martin's vocals, and the way that the bass just kind of rollicks and plays. It's almost a little bit of a playful, skillful tune, a little bit of a mix of the two, and that clash is perfect. And I love how Chris Martin's vocals are kind of kept low in the mix, and then the pianos obviously start building up, and then that big instrumental barrage breakdown is just fantastic. It's something that Coldplay have been missing for a while now, and I've heard people describe it like a mix between like the newer stuff and then like clocks off of A Rush of Blood to the Head, and I can see why you would say that. And it's something that just seems like they're getting back to who they are in terms of musicians and in terms terms of songwriters, and this song I think is going to go down as one of Coldplay's best singles, at least of the 2010s. What does that leave me now that I've already heard 3 out of 5 songs preceding the EP's release? Well, we have the Big Sean track, Miracles 2, aka Miracles Someone Special, which was originally thought to kind of be a companion piece to their track Miracles that was used for a soundtrack and the Japanese edition of A Head Full of Dreams, but I don't know how connected they are. Here, it just kind of comes through with a mediocre, uplifting tune that really tries to play like rising from the ashes to be somebody and make something of yourself, and it just, I'm not feeling it. And Big Sean, especially on his verse, just seems like he's really trying to relate everything, like how he went from rags to riches, and it's one of those stories that just makes you kind of snooze off. It makes you drift away into the dream world because you've already been there, done that. The final track to talk about is Aliens, and it's kind of an interesting one. Brian Eno was behind a lot of Viva La Vida or Death and All His Friends, and if you didn't see my review just recently, I did review that album. He had a big hand in that. I thought it's an excellent record, and he had a big part in making these guys step outside of their comfort zone. And here on Aliens, it's one of those things where it's got these weird little riffs that run throughout and they pop back up again, and I wish that they were used a little bit more in the song. It's almost kind of like a little European flavor or something that it's adding to the tune, but whatever it is, I like it, but it's not there frequently enough for me to be engaged with the rest of the track, and as a result, it kind of flatlines throughout the song, and I don't know why it feels a lot longer to me than it actually is. It's really not that long of a song at all, but unfortunately this one is another one that just kind of briskly goes in one ear, out the other. Definitely disappointed in this EP overall. I don't think Coldplay have a bad studio album in them, but this EP was a bit of a misfire. Hopefully it's just material to hold us over until their next record comes out. For me personally, I think there's one great song, a couple of okay ones, and some big skippables. It's a 3 out of 5, and I think that that's being pretty generous for me. What did you guys think of the Kaleidoscope EP? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Don't forget to smash the like button on the review while you're here, and subscribe to the channel because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If you're able to help me out and keep videos like this keep coming on a monthly basis, click that annotation over there and it'll take you over to my Patreon page. And if you'd like to see another Coldplay review, click right here, or another recent video right here. I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.